Good evening. It's Friday night. You know what that means. It's time for the number one sports podcast in the world. It's time for Sports4U. Live on YouTube. I'm John. No Mark tonight. No Nick Freeze tonight. It's just yours truly. And we are going to have a fun time on this Friday night live on YouTube and X. So make sure you hit that subscribe button for Sports4U Podcast, Townhouse Media, and Culture Clash Network, all on YouTube. Like us on Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok at Sports4U Podcast. Of course, follow me at John Watson0984 on X and Instagram. Follow Mark on Instagram at Hi I'm Mark 1 on X. Follow Nick on X and Instagram at 99Gorilla. We got some lots to talk about here tonight. As we are officially now in the midst of football season. The Pro Football Hall of Fame takes place tomorrow afternoon in Canton, Ohio. So can't wait for that. Obviously, tonight they're doing the gold jacket ceremony. I just saw Sterling Sharp, obviously, getting his gold jacket from his brother and fellow Pro Football Hall of Famer, Shannon Sharp. That's right, Trail. You gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta do what you gotta do. So Mark and Nick will be back on Tuesday because we officially kick off the Sports4U Two-A-Days series. It will start with the NFC East week. And obviously we got a lot to talk about on that front with the East. Both with the division that has the reigning MVP in Ty Shanley. And then you got a team that just can't stay on the damn news, and that's the damn Dallas Cowboys. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to recap MLB trade deadline. Got some WNBA stuff I'm going to talk about. Candace Parker's comments on her podcast. So we'll definitely play into that. And obviously we're going to still look ahead to what's going down tomorrow. Let's briefly, I'm going to go over what happened. MLB trade deadline. My Dodgers didn't really do much moves. Obviously, they did bring back Brock Stewart. What up, Nessa? It's still Pepsi, even though the squad ain't here. They didn't make any big moves. I know a lot of Dodger fans wanted to go out there and get Stephen Kwan from the Cleveland Guardians, but that didn't happen. I saw Shane Bieber move to no relation to Justin Bieber, got traded to the Toronto Blue Jays. Carlos Correa, FU, but you went back to those hated Astros, so double FU for going back there. And just like the Twins had like a real fire sale. A lot of players, obviously, we got Brock Stewart from there. We sent James Outman in there. So it was not like a big name trade deadline in MLB, obviously. So some moves were made there, but none of that will just I think was going to shake up the landscape of Major League Baseball. So we're now in the home stretch because obviously postseason starts in a couple months in Major League in the MLB. So we'll definitely be looking ahead to see what happens there. Let's start with the big story of the day. And I need to take you guys back to how this all started. What up, DWE? Only DWE in the building. Boss Lady, Miami was good. Greg. Let me take you back to a few weeks ago when one Jerry Jones had this to say about his star linebacker Micah Parsons and his franchise quarterback Dak Prescott.
Just because we signed him doesn't mean we're going to have him. He was hurt 6 games last year. Seriously. We've signed, I remember signing a player for the highest paid at the position in the league, and he got knocked out 2/3 of the year, Dak Prescott. So there's a lot of things you can think about when you, just as the player does, when you're thinking about committing and guaranteeing money.
That was Jerry Jones talking about why he hasn't gotten a deal done with Micah Parsons and brought up him getting injured last year, missing some games. Dak Prescott having a season-ending injury after he signed him to his contract on day 1 of week 1, right before the Cowboys hit the field. 3 hours before kickoff, Dak Prescott signs this big deal. Micah Parsons responded to that. He was on the 6 Feet and Under podcast with a guy by the name of Mark Calloway. his mom called him Mark, his daddy called him Mark, his wife Michelle McCool calls him Mark. I think his kids, teachers call him Mr. Calloway, but we all know Mark Calloway as the WWE Hall of Famer, the dead man, the Undertaker.
We obviously want to get done early. We want that relief off our backs. Obviously, ownership's always going to make it drag out, make it more complicated than it has to be. Lack of communication in that standpoint. I would never understand it. We wanted to do the contract last year. They're just kind of like, we want to do Dak and CD. Then you go out there, perform again, and then you would think like, all right, we'll get it done early. We know there's some guys that's about to get ready to get repaid, like Miles, Max is gone. So you would think like, hey, let's get ahead of that, Yeah. I just never understand, when guys come into the league and they're consistent and then, they perform well, why they got such an urge, but then there's guys that just have one good year or maybe 2 good years and it's just like they get it right away. You can't want us to take less because you just want to decide to wait.
So that brings us to the event today. So Micah Parsons, he's been talking a lot. Obviously, what up, Sam? He's been talking a lot about what's going on with him not getting this contract. Micah Parsons tells her I can't take fam seriously, big ass hat. I feel what you're saying, Trill. But whoever came up with the big ass hats, they're making a killing right now. I don't know what it is about it. It's not my cup of tea, but players are wearing them and whoever's getting that money, more power to you, bro. But Micah Parsons been talking about it, obviously, and he's had enough. So the news broke today from Adam Schefter. He put out that Micah Parsons did request a trade from the Dallas Cowboys. Sam, hey, Micah, come to LA. Stan, let's slow down. If y'all really think the Dallas Cowboys are just going to up and trade Micah Parsons just like that, you got another thing coming. Same thing with the Washington Commanders with the situation with Terry McLaurin. They're not just going to up and trade a bona fide star. In this case, with Micah Parsons, arguably one of the top 5 defensive players in the National Football League right now. You got TJ Watt, you got your Myles Garrett, my guy, the reigning defensive player of the year, Pat Surtain. You got your Max Crosby's out there. Aiden Hutchinson when he gets healthy. You got a lot of good defensive players out there. But let's be clear, Micah Parsons is special. Micah Parsons, and I still don't agree with Stephen A on this whole second coming in Lawrence Taylor. He's arguably the best linebacker in football. I honestly wanted the Broncos to draft him in 2021. But I was happy we got Patrick Surtain because personally, I thought that draft was going to go the other way around. We would have took Micah Parsons, or he would have been gone maybe ahead of that. Maybe go to Carolina, be the second coming of Luke Kuechly, and we would end up with like J.C. Horn. But we got Surtain, and we got the best DB in the game. So, mile high salute. But back to Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons put out a lengthy statement. I'm not going to go read y'all. Y'all go find it. It's on his Twitter and social media. It's like 3 screenshots long. So y'all go check it out. But here's one quote. But that's one from CD Lamb. I'm sorry. I no longer want to be held to closed door negotiations while my agent present. I no longer want shots taken at me for getting injured while laying it on the line for the organization, our fans, and my teammates. I no longer want narratives created and spread to the media about me. That was part of the statement. They're not here tonight, Sam. Catch up. Hey, right, Mike P. He was tired of playing the face. But here's the deal. Micah Parsons is on his rookie deal. He's on the last year of his rookie deal. He's owed $24 million on that 5th-year option. And I understand he needs to get a contract. He don't want to. The Cowboys still have the leverage because if they don't get a contract done with him, they're going to franchise tag him. But you really want to let a guy like Micah Parsons go out there and test the free agent market? You're not taking trades for Micah Parsons. They already said it. They have no interest in trading him. So good luck with that. CeeDee Lamb, his teammate, responded. Never fails, dog. Just pay the man what you owe him. No need for the extracurricular. And I get what he's saying. He wants to see. He went through the same situation last year with Jerry. and this is Jerry always trying to make sure that the narrative is about Jerry and not about the team. Jerry got to be the big star. That's why they got the Netflix series about the Cowboys that's about to drop. Or might have dropped. I don't know. Y'all let me know if it's dropped or not. But it's going to get to the point where Jerry is just going to have to stop getting, is just going to keep getting in his own way, and he's going to find the wrong match. Now, unfortunately, Micah Parsons will not touch free agency between now and the next 3 years. Because, like I said, they can if he sets out this year and they can't find a trade for him, they're going to franchise tag him. He sit out next year, they're going to franchise him again. Then he gets a free agency. And I don't think Micah Parsons is sitting out the next 3 years for free agency. I know Mike, I said that earlier, She. In regards to Terry McLaurin, he's looking at all this wide receiver money. No, let me be clear. He's not getting Jamar Chase money before anybody asks. Is he getting T. Higgins money? I'm not sure. What up, Candace? But I asked you guys this in the comment section. Who would you rather have, Scary Terry or DK Metcalf? Because I think that's who he's looking at. He's looking at that DK Metcalf contract like he's getting like 30-something million. Why can't I? And obviously, we know what he means to Jaden Daniels. We know what he means to Jaden Daniels. Well, you Rams fans, y'all really putting the thirst trap out for Micah Parsons right now, huh? She said he'd rather have DK Metcalf. And most people probably will still take DK Metcalf because he is a more physical receiver. But Terry McLaurin is 5 years with the Washington football team, Commanders, whatever you want to call them. He's been a 1,000-yard receiver. He's been a number one receiver. Now, he's not in that top tier with the Jamar Chases, the Justin Jeffersons, Tyreek Hills, and yada, yada, yada. He's in that second, third tier, like, the Puka, Nakuas, and guys like that. He's in that tier of wide receiver. And I think he's in the final year of his deal. I think he's getting about $16 million. And he wants to get paid. I don't blame him. Same thing going on with Cincinnati. Mike P saying if Micah goes anywhere, it's gonna be Washington, in my opinion. He's with their old defensive coordinator. Now, here's the thing on that. So we know Dan Quinn now is the head coach of the Washington Commanders. He was obviously the last couple of years was the defensive coordinator in Dallas before he took that gig. And me and Mark, we've had this theory. We thought that Micah Parsons would go back and play for the Eagles. Well, I thought Micah Parsons grew up because he's from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Grew up an Eagles fan. I'm going to find out he grew up a Dallas Cowboys fan. If you go read that statement. So this hurts more to him because he grew up a Cowboys fan. He grew up wanting to wear the star. And now he has the opportunity, and he wants to get Cowboy dollars. The question is, will he? Will he get Cowboy dollars? See what the comments. Sam said, bro, can you imagine him and Verse on both? Look, I'm not saying him and Jared Verse wouldn't be a good combination, Sam, but it takes two to make a trade. So Denver, make the call. It takes two to make a trade. Micah can go to Detroit. Imagine him. Look, anywhere you put Micah Parsons, he's going to dominate. Clearly. He's going to dominate. But let's be clear. It takes two to make a trade. Two to make a trade. And if you don't have a trading partner, what you going? Well, there's no trade. Mike P. John, remember the management is from San Francisco, and if you know anything about the Niners, they wait until the last minute to make signings. And that's exactly what Jerry's doing. He did it last year. We saw this same story with Dak. We saw this with Dak. We saw this with CeeDee Lamb. We saw this with Ezekiel Elliott. We seen this with Dez Bryant. Literally. Dez Bryant and my guy Demaryius Thomas, rest in peace, were both franchise tagged the same year. Both came out of the draft in 2010. They were both franchise tagged the same year. DT got his deal. Jerry just waited right till after Dez Bryant, right till after that to sign Dez Bryant. It takes two to tango. That's right, Sam. And they're going to wait to the last minute. Minimum 2 years. Micah has to be there if they keep. He's in his 5th year. Again, I'm going to reiterate this. Micah Parsons is in his 5th year. And if they don't get a deal done, an extension done, they're just going to franchise tag him. They'll franchise tag him. Clearly. That's what's going to be. So there's no reason to be upset over anything. Now, obviously, his agent, David Mulugheta, who's obviously also was the agent of Deshaun Watson, he's going to make sure Micah Parsons gets his bread. The management in D.C. is from that's right, Adam Peters, their general manager from the new manager of the Commanders came from the Niners. And not saying Dallas management. Okay, I got you, Mike. Yeah, Adam Peters, who's the general manager of the Washington Commanders, came out of the 49ers front office. Obviously, worked with John Lynch. So we see where this goes. Terrell says Micah should know it would play. Should know it would play out this way. The more he complains, the more ass Jerry is going to be. You're right. I know that part, and I think he will play this year, franchise next, and I believe there is rules against doing it twice for Micah and players. Here's the deal: you can franchise a player twice. 3rd year, they can walk. That's why Lamar Jackson got franchised twice. Kirk Cousins got franchised twice. Le'Veon Bell got franchised twice. So Jerry still has all the leverage. What up, boss lady? I saw those gifts you got on Twitter, on X. Shout out. And to those out there, happy National Girlfriends Day. I didn't even know that was a thing until I saw it on Twitter. Jerry is tired of these coloreds disrupting his team. Ha! That's funny, Tig. Well, I know Adam Peters. He came from the Broncos organization, but he's more recently with the 49ers. Tig, they ain't winning this if he goes. If he goes, y'all. Oh, here we go. Not the YT. I don't think he makes it to the 3rd year. No, he can't make it to the 3rd year because you can't franchise him. I think eventually they will get a deal done. It wouldn't shock me by the end of preseason that Micah Parsons has his money and he's going to be a Cowboy for the next probably 5 years. Let Micah Parsons, because Micah Parsons will not touch free agency. No. I mean, I don't know. Mike. You never know with Jerry and Stephen Jones. You never know with them. But why wait till he requests a trade? Because the Cowboys have the leverage, Candace. They don't have to sign Micah Parsons right now. He's on the 5th-year option. He's not like he's a free agent. He's not a restricted free agent. His 5th-year contract is guaranteed no matter what. And the only reason he wants to get a contract because he wants that job security just in case he gets injured. That's why these players try to get paid a year in advance as opposed to a year too later. You get the dollar a year earlier and not a year later. That's why Micah Parsons wants his deal right now. And he'll get it done. It's either going to be this season or next offseason. Deal will get struck. Cowboys keep costing themselves more money. Ownership isn't smart. Well, we learned that about Jerry. Jerry wants to be the man. Cowboys want to be the star attraction, and that's exactly what they're doing. How many times we've seen them leading off First Take, or Get Up, or any other morning show. That's exactly what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Jerry's son is crazy. He just waiting for his dad to join. Wow. Steven's a smart guy, but he has to follow right now what his dad is doing because his dad is still. Although Jerry has looked like he's showed some signs of being senile over the last few years, he's not letting that go. Parsons' next contract will be in Chicago. Good luck, Fat. We'll see. We'll see. The salary cap is toast thanks to Jerry. Well, nah, we'll see. All right, we'll see what's going on. But we'll keep an eye on that. Let's go to another story. Something about contracts and money. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago in regards to the WNBA. They had in their players in the labor agreement. They're trying to get their new TV, trying to get obviously what's owed to them. I want to go back to what happened at All-Star Weekend. Give me 1 second. Okay, here we go. They had on the pay us what you owe us shirts. Because obviously they had a meeting. They were meeting with the WNBA owners about obviously the new CBA that's coming up and what how can they get more on the revenue sharing with regards to the TV. As I'm watching the LA Sparks and the Seattle Storm right now in Seattle, Rickea Jackson back, Cameron Brink's back. Obviously we heard what and if y'all missed it, Kelsey Plum spoke about this, but about why this happened. So it was her, Sabrina Ionescu, post game after the All-Star game about what went down in this meeting. Obviously, WNBA All-Star Weekend took place in Indiana. The ratings went down because obviously there was no Caitlin Clark. And here was what Kelsey Plum and Sabrina Ionescu were saying about the meeting that led to them wearing those T-shirts.
Well, it was a very powerful moment. We didn't, at least as players, we didn't know that was going to happen. So I think it was kind of like a genuine surprise. But the T-shirt, just United Front, was determined this morning that we had a meeting for. And, not to tattletale, but 0 members of Team Clark were very present for that. But no, we were just we had a very
that really needed to be mentioned.
I'm trying to make a situation light, okay? But yeah, no, I think it was just all of us getting on the same page for the game. We wanted to do something that was just united and collective, and I thought that it was a very powerful moment and got the point across. And sometimes you don't have to say anything.
So they go out in the All-Star game. Team Nafisa Collier beat Team Clark. And I think everyone was loving the unity. But there was some people who were a little ticked off by the production in the All-Star game. Mainly one WNBA legend, future Hall of Famer, 2-time WNBA champion, former WNBA MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, former face of the league. You name it, she did it all. Candace Parker has a podcast called Post Up with her and Aaliyah Boston of the Indiana Fever. And she was very disappointed in how the WNBA players conducted themselves during the WNBA All-Star game. Check it out.
Y'all cannot come out there with those shirts of pay us what you owe us and then do that in the All-Star game.
No. Here's the thing. We come out every single night and we show why we deserve the money we deserve. An all-star game where when we have another game in 2 days, I think that is okay to just go out there and hoop and have some fun. Because on Tuesday, we were back at it and we were playing and we were showing once again why we deserve to get paid.
I think on one of the biggest stages with people tuned in an all-star setting that was invested in more than any other all-star game previously, without Caitlin Clark, right? She was not playing. I think it was an opportunity to really go out there, and it was an added opportunity. It's not going to subtract anything, but I think the narrative on Monday would have been, well, how come the guys don't play in the All-Star game? How come these ladies come out there and they hoop and they understand their responsibility? Like, I just think that it would have really maximized the moment of wearing the shirt along with giving the product. Because I tried to watch the All-Star game, I'll be honest. But after one slow Euro step and people pulling up for them, I was like, I can't, I'm a fan of the WNBA and I can't watch this. So I just think that, no, you all didn't have to, but I think it was an opportunity that you could have built on, like, more momentum, if that makes sense.
No, it does. It does make sense. But live, laugh, and love.
I agree with what Candace Parker is saying. Let me explain why. I watched the entire WNBA All-Star game. I thought it got too gimmicky. The 4-point shot. When I saw that it was a 4-point shot, and Tiggs with me, I went back to my days as a kid watching Rock and Jock. Y'all remember Rock and Jock back in the day? MTV, Bill Bellamy, Dan Cortez, and they had celebrities playing basketball, and they had the 10-pointer, the 50-pointer, and all that other goofy stuff. When they went with that, I'm like, WNBA's jumping the shark. They're trying to do what the NBA's doing, and that's make out of soup. They didn't have to do that because the All-Star game the year before, when they balled. The team, when it was Team Asia versus Team Stewie, they balled. No, it wasn't that. It was Team WNBA versus Team USA. And you had Enrique Umguale go out there and set the record for most points in the WNBA All-Star game. I think they jumped the shark. The 4-point shot was unnecessary. Shorten the shot clock, unnecessary. The hockey substitution thing, what were they doing? Because there was some times where Asia Wilson and Sabrina Ionescu were standing at the scorer's table. You're supposed to go in. If you watch hockey, and I don't watch hockey a lot, you do a line change in real time. There's no stoppage. There's no buzzers. There's no dead ball situations. This is what they were supposed to do. So as soon as they got in, they could have just easily got up off the bench, walked on the court. Or go just say, okay, I don't even think you need to go do the traditional go to scorer's table sub. No. So that's what Candace Parker's talking about. They blew an opportunity because they were out there, because it's All-Star weekend. They partying, they living it up. The stud buds took over the whole city. And they had those shirts on because it is about trying to get their money. And I want the WNBA to get their money. They got this new TV deal with NBC, Universal, and Amazon, and ESPN, and there's a lot of money. And that's just saying it's the fact that they wanted to give a show for ratings instead of showing people why they should really tune in. And I don't want to hear that stuff from Aaliyah Boston about they got to play 2 days later. I don't want to hear that. Because that stuff seems to take me off with the NBA. Okay. The NBA said, okay, we're going to have the trade. We're going to move the trade deadline before All-Star weekend. And after the All-Star break, no games until that Thursday. You got 3 days off. What else do you want them to do? Well, maybe y'all should negotiate that in y'all know CBA. Extend the All-Star break by a couple of days. Because y'all didn't have those issues before. Y'all went out there, balled out, and then y'all went ahead and played the rest of the season during the summer. But now, because the money is involved, you showed you know what. Go get yours. And I'm always going to be pro-union. My mama was worked in the union, so I'm always going to be pro-union. She always taught me about the union. Don't cross on nobody's picking line. But I'm going to be clear. They did miss an opportunity there. They still got eyeballs on the game because what are people talking about? They're talking about them shirts. They're not talking about the fact that Nafisa Collier set an all-star game record for points. Skylar Diggins, I think, had the first triple-double in WNBA all-star history. So I understood exactly everything what Candace Parker was saying. When she said that she'd stopped watching, that ought to have been alarming enough to Aaliyah Boston to be like, oh, we just ticked off the OGs. And this isn't like how with the NBA, where it seems like the NBA vets have something against the current players because of the money. The WNBA vets want these girls to get this, want these young women to get this money because they didn't get it. There's no animosity there. Chig says there were people that didn't watch a single WNBA game, but hear all the hype and tuned into the All-Star game to see what fans was yapping about and turned it to, yeah, exactly, Tig. That's exactly what he's saying, what Candace Parker is saying. Y'all done built up all this momentum, and then y'all went out and put out that. And the ratings was down. Y'all can say what y'all want about Caitlin Clark. The ratings was down because she didn't play. It is what it is. Sam, I'm a union steward now, so myself, I saw, yeah, exactly. You never cross to somebody's union. In fact, you just hate the WNBA. All these ideas to make the league relevant, no one works, and nothing works. All right, but that's what's going. That's why the WNBA All-Star game. That was what Candace Parker had to say about the WNBA All-Star game. All right, tomorrow is the Pro Football Hall of Fame enshrinement ceremony. Last night we had the Hall of Fame game. The Chargers defeated the Lions 34-7. And I really didn't watch. I wasn't paying attention. Shout out to my guy, Hendon Hooker, was out there playing. Vol Nation, let's go. But I watched this game only because I get this here from the Hall of Famers who tonight got their gold jackets and tomorrow are going to put on some dope speeches. Now, we did this on Tuesday's show, so if you missed it, we're gonna revisit some of these players who are going into the Hall of Fame. So I'm gonna go in reverse. So I'm gonna start with a guy who had 54 career interceptions, 5 career pick sixes, the third most starts for a cornerback, behind it was Darryl Green, Rondé Barber, Eric Allen.
At the lone 29. Walsh, and it's picked off by Eric Allen. He'll score. Touchdown.
The guy. And what he does well is anticipate. Watch him break underneath early. He makes the break on the ball before Early gets into the pattern. And then it's clear sailing and 6 points.
Fifth interception of the season for Eric's the quarterback, and the relief of Mike Buck was ineffective. And that's picked up by Allen again, and will walk in. Touchdown, Eagles. Intended for Torrance Small. Eric Allen again sniffed that out all the way. His 4th touchdown of the season on 6 pickoffs.
He's firing, and it's intercepted again on the far side of the field. Intercepted by Allen, spinning at the 10, out to the 15, the 20, cutting to his left at the 25-30. Allen at the 40, Allison at the 45-50, 45-40. Eric Allen down the far sideline, stepped over a man. He's going to go!
Aikman. Dixon, the intended receiver, Allen was with him. I don't know.
Ball hawk. Eric Allen was a ball hawk. His son will be presented him for induction on tomorrow, so that's gonna be a good moment for him. But Eric Allen, obviously, if you watched him, he was with obviously his heyday with the Eagles. He also had a good stint, much I hate to say it, with the Raiders. Was a good analyst at ESPN for many years. I think he's now in Vegas doing Raiders TV. Again, shout out to my guy Kurt Morrison, who's now going to be doing the Raiders games on radio. But yeah, what a defensive back and who just owned it, who was a good defender. And let's stay with that theme for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. When you talk defense, you talk QB sacks. And nobody was as good as that as Jared Allen.
Great opening drive, a first down toss, nobody open. Jared Allen forced it out, recovered by the Vikings, Brian Robinson.
By the way, this is all in the same game, by the way. Monday Night Football, Vikings, Packers. And he became pretty much the Aaron Rodgers stopper. Probably stopping Matt Flynn. Look at Matt Flynn. I wonder if that was before or after he stole that money from the Seahawks.
3rd and 5, Rodgers couldn't get away from Allen. Ray Edwards and Jared Allen combined for the sack.
You'll see college number 73. He gets a good initial jam on him. But look at Jared Allen. He's persistent. He's got great energy, a high motor.
Very little in the run game tonight. Mistake there. And Allen ends up with a loss of 2. Here comes Allen. Picked up by Grant. There's a safety, almost. Instead, the ball comes out. Jared Allen again gets it done for the Vikings.
Watch how many guys the Green Bay Packers used to help T.J. Lang. And once you keep a running back in and you slide that way, you have to know you got to get rid of the ball.
And there is Jared Allen once again, relentless with his pursuit. He was blocked, he was chipped. As Aaron Rodgers stepped up, Jared Allen pursued, sack, tackle, fumble, Vikings ball.
Jared Allen, how about the guts of the Minnesota Vikings? Ziggy Wolf, the owner, Brad Childress, go out and trade for Jared Allen 1 year. The next year, go out and get Brett Favre out of retirement. How would you like to be a Viking fan?
Rodgers, Allen, 4.5 sack night, Jared Allen.
This is a clinic on pass rushing.
Jared Allen was a stud, man. Straight dog on defense. Whether it was with the Chiefs or obviously with the Vikings, he ended up going to the Bears and in his career in Carolina. He was a problem. And when you're going up in practice, going on style steady like, when you're going up in practice against guys like Will Shields and Willie Roaf, you can't help but to get better. And that's what Jared Allen had to deal with when he was with the Chiefs. When they took him in the 4th round back in 2004, you lining up in practice, and you got Will Shields and Willie Roaf on the QB's blind side that you got to try to get past every practice. A Hall of Fame tackle and a Hall of Fame lineman. And look where they had. And now all 3 of them are going to be wearing gold jackets. We expect to see both of them tomorrow. Obviously, Will Shields is already in Canton, so I hope you see Willie Roaf there tomorrow, because I know there's going to be some stories about him. Tig said, I was listening to the radio today, and I agree. The waiting period is so stupid for players to enter any Hall of Fame. I think the waiting period should be only 1 season. I don't got no problem with that, because there's some players, once they retire, they're just going to slide right into Canton. So Tom Brady's got to wait a couple more years. Like when LeBron retires, go right into the Springfield. And obviously, not to be emotional, if this rule was in attack, we would have got to hear Kobe do a Hall of Fame speech. And I get why they put that rule in there because obviously, like Tig said, some players do get the itch, they want to come back, but let's be clear. Some guys we know are Hall of Famers. Shohei Ohtani retired tomorrow. He's going to the Hall of Fame. What are we talking about? Back to the Hall of Fame. I hated this guy. This next person, I hated him. I hated him. But I cannot deny what he did as a football player. Becoming the first Pro Football Hall of Famer to never play a snap of college football. From the hoop courts of Kent State to the end zones with the San Diego or LA Chargers to now a gold jacket in Canton, Ohio. LA, you would arrive just in time to hear us talk about this guy. My boys Fat and Bass were arguing, was he the greatest tight end of all time? I didn't get involved in the conversation because I'm biased, but let me be clear. He is one of the best. I don't think he's the best. But let's show some love to Antonio Gates.
Breeze to the end zone. Touchdown to Gates. My, oh my. 6 catches here in the second half for Antonio Gates. And the Chargers, who have been outplayed most of this game, now own the lead.
31 seconds. Breeze up top. It's Gates. It's a touchdown again, San Diego.
Over the last 2 years. Just watch Drew Brees do his thing. Now Rivers over the middle. I'll say it's a coming out party. Touchdown Gates.
For San Diego on a 3rd and 3. Rivers under pressure, floats it to Gates. First down, stays on his feet. Antonio Gates breaking to the clear for the touchdown. That is all Gates. Should have been brought down much earlier. And Gates maintains under pressure. Deep drop for Rivers. Steps up and throws out across. Antonio Gates. Circus catch for Gates. How did he bring that one in?
Yes, watch his left hand. Reaching behind himself. One hands it against, pins it against his leg, keeps it off the ground. What a play by Gates. Look how close to this ball come to hitting.
One final chance. Here they come on the blitz. Rivers over the middle. Finding Gates miraculously makes the catch and has the Chargers first down.
I don't know how he comes down with it. He just wheels his way to a catch here. Now watch, he's we're back in against the 4-man secondary. 2nd down and 5. Rivers right on the money. What a catch by Gates for the touchdown. His league-leading 7th of the year. 19-yard pass. And the Chargers are on the board.
Rivers throws. And is it a touchdown? It is a touchdown by Antonio Gates. Oh my goodness, with one big left hand. Rivers throwing into the end zone. Touchdown, Antonio Gates. 112 career touchdown catches. That's the most by an NFL tight end all time.
Antonio Gates, very well deserving. Great career. As I said, Hunter Henry is getting more involved in terms of the passing game, but you start getting crucial 3rd downs.
I hated that guy. I really did. But Gatesy was good. I seen Lace getting very emotional. I don't know if it was because she's seen Antonio Gates get a gold jacket or the fact that her and Nessa reunited. Team TLT is officially reunited in the chat. What up, Cody? Cody, can't wait to make that announcement, bro. We got a big announcement with our boy Cody from Balls and Briefs coming real soon, so y'all stay tuned. Cody will be around also he'll probably be around for our two-a-days, which again start next week. Obviously, the South got something to say. Yeah. Boy, Boomer Gates made quarterbacks look good. Well, when your quarterbacks are Drew Brees and Phillip Rivers, it also helps a lot. Nessa is to me what Gates is to Rip. So he just passed. What y'all just passing each? So you're passing her the balls. Ball. I mean, but top three. See now where'd they go? Is he a top 3 tight end? No. It's Tony Gonzalez. It's Gronk. You want to argue top 5? I got Shannon Sharp. I'm biased. Shannon Sharp is going to still be in my top 3. You want to put Travis Kelce in there, obviously, but Gates is definitely somewhere in that top 5, depending on his generation, because you can throw about another great Chargers tight end, Kellen Winslow Sr. Don't forget Ozzie Newsome. There were a lot of great tight ends back in the day, but he's definitely in the top 5. But yeah. Oh, my bad. You heard that, Nessa? My bad. Well, y'all was talking about y'all was pretty much being the quarterback and she was the top. Nope. So wait a minute. And so Nessa to me is so in this case, who's the quarterback and who's the tight end? Happy Freaky Friday, everybody. Is Lay the quarterback and you're the tight end, Nessa, or is Nessa the quarterback and you the tight end? Or are y'all both tight ends? Or y'all going with the 2 tight end offense? You can't do the 2 quarterback offense because only one of y'all can snap the balls. Oh, y'all switch. Oh, so someone is so y'all are trying to take to it. Let me be quiet. Someone's trying to say y'all switch. Oh, y'all switched from someone having hands on the balls to someone throwing the balls. Okay, I got you. Why are you by yourself? Mark's not here tonight, but he'll be back. I need a new profile pic. My boobs look like testicles. No kidding, Delilah. I mean, Lay. I mean, come on, dude. Look at this. I've seen bigger melon. Mind your. Hey, y'all the ones who said it. But Antonio Gates was that dude. He was really that dude. He was a good. Obviously, he did not play at any college football at Kent State, and walked on and was an undrafted free agent by the Chargers. And obviously, now look what he turned his career into. Clearly, one of the best ever. And obviously, you had, MIDI. Yeah, if you got a MIDI, MIDIs help you win. Help you win games. But and by the way, if I will say something is MIDI about you, I have to see it in order to believe it. That's why that's not true. If you know, you know. But yeah, Gatesy had a good. Well, well, go ahead. Y'all go ahead and play quarterback. Play Monday Night Football if y'all want, or Sunday Night Football, or go Sunday Ticket. As far as I care, or heck, just do just be the Red Zone package, or Red Zone. Y'all do what y'all want, or what up, Faith? Oops, yeet. Oh God, here come Chaos Collective just reunited. So yeah, one last guy in Pro Football Hall of Fame. Look, I know my boy Fats in here. I know he hates the Packers, but there was no denying this final inductee was long overdue. We all know how good his brother was and became a Pro Football Hall of Famer, one of the greatest tight ends of all time. But the reason Shannon Sharp became who he became, because he had an older brother named Sterling. And Sterling Sharp, y'all remember the Nike commercial back in the day? It's like a freight train. It's like a freight train. But yeah, let's look, finally, after a long wait, Sterling Sharp is going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And if you never saw Sterling Sharp play, enjoy greatness.
Looks as if he's okay. Green Bay from their own 24. Pump fake going deep. He is there. It is Sharp. To the 20. To the 10. Touchdown Packers.
Favre gets time. Fire. Beautiful catch by Sharp for the touchdown.
That's a mismatch, and the ball is thrown right where it has to, and as hard as he can throw it. Wham! Right down the pipe.
On a quick snap, second down. Favre
time. Goes for the whole thing. Touchdown! Green Bay leads.
Favre to throw it. Comes out of the pocket and wings it deep. Touchdown.
Chip meeting between these two teams here in Texas.
Favre on the run to the end zone. Sharp touchdown. Touchdown Packers.
He appears to be warm now. He's playing well. On first down again, he steps up, goes deep. Sharp is open. To the 30. Inside the 10. Touchdown Green Bay.
Green Bay has the ball at their own 24 to start quarter number 4. Sterling Sharp should be gone. Touchdown Packers.
35-yard line. Play action. Good fake and a lot of time for Favre. Going deep for Sharp. He's got it.
Great catch, Tim.
Touchdown. Is he in the end zone or not? What's he doing?
Fumbled. That's a fumble.
He didn't know where he was. Now he's in. That's unbelievable.
Look at that smile.
He thought he was in the end zone. Now remember, there's snow all over these lines here.
You see that smile? He looked like the cat that got the bird standing right there.
From midfield, 6:20 left in the first quarter play. Favre slips, steps up, uncorks it on the run, going for Sharp. And Sharp hauls it in for the touchdown.
Favre back to throw it. Has Sterling Sharp, and he's close to scoring and is inside the 5 and touchdown Green Bay. They come right back.
Well, we said before the half, you could just see Brett Favre getting that confidence.
Greatness personified. Looking at the comments. Obviously, Nessa and Lace are having their love fest. Go ahead. Big Nick, what up? Big Nick will be joining us next Friday to talk Bills Mafia. Of course, y'all go subscribe to the Wrestling Network for Life. And Big Nick, we got to get you on we got it on these watch-alongs with us, man. But yeah, shout out to Big Nick representing Bills Mafia. Does Sterling takes his nah? Sterling was at people forget Sterling was at ESPN back in the day when Shannon was still playing. I think Sterling's done doing the media thing. He's already worked at ESPN, NBC, and NFL Network. I think he's done. Now he's got his gold jacket. He can just rest on his laurels. Nessa! Shout out to Mustard. Mark, what up? Miss you, bro. Yeah, I'm good, dog. But check the comments. They're wild. He was T.O. before T.O. Ooh. Cody, I like that. Yeah, Mark is in the comments. The red zone is that. Yo, Mark! Like, Sterling Sharp's lyrics were pretty dry during his interview last night. You would be the one who noticed. Shannon even said I wasn't the best. He was right. He was right, Nick, because he wasn't the best player in his family. It was Sterling. By the way, Lay, I know you're a South Carolina football fan. If you want to prove people your loyalty, find you something Sterling Sharp. That's his alma mater. Go find you a Sterling Sharp jersey, T-shirt. You'll find Sterling Sharp's whatever, because we will hear about your Gamecocks doing this Hall of Fame speech tomorrow. Maybe. Well, I wasn't looking like as much as you was looking, like so. Yo, did Faith just call Mara? Hey, Mara. Hey, Mark, your name? Yo, that's wild. Oh, Dolphins. I'm still trying to figure out, did Faith just call Mark Mara? Shout out to Mara Sade. Just got signed by TNA, a.k.a. Jakar Jackson. But Sterling Sharp was that dude, man. Bona fide star wide receiver. Unfortunately, his career got cut short due to injury. And obviously, that was that Speaking Hall of Fame game. Boo-hoo. We ain't gonna talk about that. Hey, Faith, once it's out there, it's out there. But he was a bona fide star. And here's your gold jacket class for 2025. Eric Allen, Jared Allen, Antonio Gates, Sterling Sharp. All going in the Pro Football Hall of Fame as of tomorrow afternoon, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, ESPN, NFL Network, Sirius XM if you're in the car like me tomorrow while I'm working. Y'all go check out the Pro Football Hall of Fame. She ain't some of this in the guys. Relax, Nessa. Me and Faith got a real Uzi relationship. Yeet. But yeah, that's the class of Pro Football Hall of Famers, and congratulations to all of them going in the hall tomorrow. I'm really excited to hear Sterling Sharp's speech. I'm gonna go back and watch it when I get home after SummerSlam, of course, because I think his speech is gonna be great. I think all four of his speeches is gonna be good because some of these guys were not the talkative. Any of these guys were talkative players. Eric Allen wasn't a talker. Jared Allen was. I'll take it back. Jared Allen was. Antonio Gates wasn't a talker. Sterling never talked. It's crazy when Sterling joined the media because he didn't talk to the media at all as a player. And then he joins the media and he becomes like a star in the media. So Asai Ayu to you too, Faith, whatever that means. That's Samoan. Our girl Faith is part Samoan. So she's down with the bloodline. She throws up the ones. She acknowledges her tribal chiefs, or OTC. I just want to say I'm forever thankful for Trey Lance and so glad Ethan Stick is out of our lives. Y'all really putting a lot on the backup quarterback. Relax, Faith. Big Nick. Is Megatron Barry Sanders at wide receiver? Is Megatron Barry Sanders at wide receiver with the Lions? Megatron and Barry Sanders never crossed paths, obviously, but yeah, you think about. Oh, I get what you're saying. Well, yeah, I mean, look what happened. Look, thank God Matthew Stafford was able to get out of the. No disrespect to our folks in the D. Pause. Well, ladies community, but no disrespect to Detroit. But look, Matthew Stafford was able to get out there. They traded him for Jared Goff, and obviously he went on to the Rams and won the Super Bowl. But yeah. You had him, you had Calvin Johnson, you had Ndamukong Suh there. They had a squad. They just didn't know. But Detroit was a real dysfunctional franchise, and now Dan Campbell's got them back to being somewhat relevant. So good luck to them. And then hope everything. Yeah, that's really it. But yeah, the Hall of Fame game. Then the preseason starts next week on next Thursday. So the football season is officially here, ladies and gentlemen. And I can't wait to talk about it. I said it's just me tonight. So we really got through everything we need to get through. And of course we have some foolishness. Is that that was not Faith, really? I know she did not just say Sterling Sharp looked like Akon. No, that is Sterling Sharp, the brother of Shannon Sharp. You gotta remember Shannon Sharp, Faith. Aren't you a Chiefs fan? So no. Relax, Lay. But yeah, that's all I got as far as for the show. But I do have a calling out names, and boy, I'm ready to talk about this. Give me a second, but I want to know from you guys as I get my calling out names ready for today. Who are you guys? How are you guys feeling about your teams going into this upcoming season? Obviously, we know that a lot of football is going to be happening. A lot of players, obviously, with Shedeur Sanders and everything going on in Cleveland. So, but yeah, she straight said that Sterling Sharp like Akon. Crazy. If you listen to Shay and Sterling, they don't. My daughter's grandmother actually texted me that. She said that if you listen to Sterling obviously they're both from Georgia, they're both from the rural South, but he clearly Sterling does not have that has that real southern accent like as deep as Shannon's. Oh, we gotta talk. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. Oh, let's go there. Since I'm talking about Shannon, and then we'll get to calling out names. Big Nick next week. Come on, I'm in the show. We ain't got very much to talk about. Bowl or bust for the Bills. Pause. We'll definitely ask that question next week with you and Mark. But we all saw the news yesterday with Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp, we found out, will not be back with ESPN after everything that went down with his lawsuit. He settled. And obviously, they was going to wait. He settled with the lady who accused him of rape, and obviously we wondered what was going to be next for him. But Shannon Sharp did officially part ways with ESPN. They left Shay in the backwoods a little long. Yo, Tig! Yo, is Tig singing? Who's Tig singing to in the comments? Yo, that's wild. Saying he ate too much raccoon and pop. Okay, all right, Tig. That's wild, Tig. That's wild. But yeah, this wasn't obviously I was hoping Shannon was able to get back, but unfortunately it didn't happen. So now the question is, where does he go from here? Does he end up going? Obviously he's not going to ESPN. Does he maybe go? Does he go to maybe he goes back to FS1 now that obviously, they're doing a lot of wholesale changes over there at FS1 in regards to programming. Joy Taylor, obviously that show with Keyshawn is going and everything. But NFL Network, I mean, I'm wondering now, is Shannon now too big, pause, just to do regular media now? Because obviously he now is pretty much became a media empire. No, Skip wasn't trolling Shannon. Skip too busy still trying to troll LeBron, so he wasn't trolling Shannon. And and who still pays attention to Skip Bayless these days? But obviously, sometimes you just gotta know. Sometimes some situations happen for a reason. Now, hopefully, we'll see where this goes for Shannon as far as his career in media. Obviously, there's also stuff about clubs Shay's being sued. Nightcaps being sued by somebody. We'll get to that in a second. So we'll talk about that. But I did want to play what Shannon said in regards to how he felt about ESPN dropping the news that he was going to be they weren't bringing him back. And obviously, we all know, as we just talked about, the Pro Football Hall of Fame is this weekend. He's presenting his brother Sterling in the Pro Football Hall of Fame on tomorrow. I think we all assume that Sterling's going to be the last speech, so Shannon will be the last presenter. And clearly, he wanted this moment only to be about his brother. But obviously that ain't how it's just how it goes. You're not gonna get what you want. So you just gotta deal with some of the consequences. And those are some of the consequences that Shannon Sharpe is gonna deal with right now. And let me just say this to my brothers and to all men. Find women your own age. Please. Please find women your own age. This is what Shannon Sharpe said on Nightcap about the news of his parting ways with ESPN.
To get started, obviously, I'm sure everybody's heard the news by now that I will not be returning to ESPN. I found out this information a little earlier in the week, and really the only thing that I really ask is, like, guys, could we wait until Monday? My brother's going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I really wanted to be about him, and I wanted to be about my family. I know this coming out will overshadow everything that he's worked his entire life for. And unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. And so as I told him, as I profusely apologized to him earlier today, he said, bro, stop apologizing. You don't have to apologize. I'm your big bro. I'm going to love you regardless. We all make mistakes. And he says, bro, I love you. So I'm done with this. You're done with it too. Move on. And I really enjoyed my time at ESPN. It gave me an opportunity to bring my audience that saw me really just grow. They saw me, Lakers in 5, and they saw me say all these analogies that my grandparents gave me, and I was able to bring that to ESPN. So I'm very, very grateful for that. But I just wished, of all things, like I said, hey, they did what they felt they needed to do, and I'm at peace with that. But I just wish, guys, this thing could have waited until Monday, because I hate the fact that I'm overshadowing my brother, the first two brothers in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and this is what the headline's going to be for the next couple of days. So, bro, again, I know you told me I don't have to apologize, but I'm going to do it one final time tonight, and I won't apologize again. I'm sorry that I upstaged you in this manner. That was never my intent. You've been my hero. You've been my role model from as long as I can remember. And I apologize, and I thank all my fans for supporting me when I was at ESPN and every place that I've been, be it Club Shay Shay, Nightcap, Undisputed, ESPN. Thank you guys for your support. Now,
that was Shannon Sharpe last night. You're not going to, and I hate to say this as a Broncos fan, you're not going to get, there's never going to be a good way to fire a person. There's never going to be a good way where a person gets fired. Clearly. There's no way if I understand what Shannon wanted to try to make this not take away the weekend from Sterling. But once this news leaked, that's what it was going to do. But and let me be clear, people are still going to talk about it when they see Shannon present Sterling. Once Shannon presents Sterling, nobody's going to care about this. Nobody's really going to care. Now let's get to the other news of ours, Shannon Sharpe. So Nightcap is in the hot seat. Shannon Sharpe and Chad Ochocinco Johnson are being sued for $20 million for Usher concert goer claims defamation and emotional distress. This really be something for calling out names, but I'm really just going to say this since we're talking about the story, since we're talking about Shannon Sharpe. I'll get the Trails comment in a second. So according to reports, Janita Tillman is suing the group for false claims on their Nightcap podcast, alleging she was a married woman whose husband filed for divorce after she interacted with Usher at his concert. Tillman, who says she's never been married, claims the false narrative went viral, damaging her reputation and causing emotional distress despite her public efforts to set the record straight. This is just a money grab. You're not getting $20 million from no Shannon Sharpe and Ocho Cinco. Sorry, sister. You took them cherries from Usher. You went viral, just like many women who have. Just chill the F out. You're not getting $20 million. So let's look at this comment, some of the comments. From Cody. Shannon's a bit nuclear. He is Mike Golick Jr. and stay on DraftKings Network and move over to FanDuel. That crazy white boy that cosplays. So that's funny. Cody again, hate to say it, but it would have been more about Shannon regardless, because not a lot of people even knew about Sterling, at least if you weren't if you weren't born before 1995. I agree. Candace, you don't act a fool and choose your consequences, Shannon, please. Faith, Uncle Shannon, you're going to be all right. Here's Trell's comment. I don't have sympathy for Shannon. Everybody warned him since February. He didn't listen. You playing in them streets, and this is what happens. And Nessa agrees. Truth, he was arrogant and thought he was bigger than anything. So Shannon gonna be all right. He gonna be all right. He gonna be all right. Like in the words of Kendrick Lamar, he gonna be all right. There's another story I want to talk about. Talking about podcasters, because it seemed like it was like podcasters gone wild yesterday. If you have an adult podcast, you're just gonna get arrested. And that's this whole situation with Gilbert Arenas. Gilbert Arenas was arrested yesterday in a federal gambling case. Look, Gil, he's a character. And he's always going to say, he's always going to be he's going to do something wild or say something wild. But I got to play you what this dude said on his stream yesterday after he made bail. So here's the story with Gilbert Arenas. Former NBA All-Star Gilbert Arenas has been arrested on federal charges involving his involvement in illegal gambling operations centered around high-stakes poker games at his mansion in Encino, California. He was released on $50 bond. The trial is set to begin in September 23rd in LA before a U.S. District Court judge. He pled not guilty to conspiracy to operate illegal gambling businesses. If convicted, he could face, I think, up to 15 years in jail. I'm not going to play the silly video of Gil when he got released. But he's saying, he makes it clear, he has no plans to return to jail after his arrest this week and said he's going to snitch. Gil's just being Gil. A straight clown. That's all it is. He's being a straight clown. So I'm not going to really talk more about that, but that was some news I just thought we should share. I got to go hang out with wifey and baby. I'm gonna call you. All right, Cody. Call me tomorrow, like in the evening. We'll be doing the SummerSlam watch along. So call me after SummerSlam because after SummerSlam. Kev, what up? These streets saying boy Gil was singing like a canary. Yeah, he was. He said he was snitching. Dudes in the valley. Look, man, if you're from LA like me, Tick, who grew up here like me and Tick, we know there's certain dudes in certain cities that they already know could have suspect ways of acting. Nick and Mark will tell you if they was here, and Nick can tell you more because he went to high school in the valley. But come on, man. Gil, chill. All right, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for the final segment of the night. Often imitated, never duplicated. Some people do stuff in the sports world. They say it, and they got to get called out for it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a solo John Watson Show edition of Calling Out Names. And I only got one person to call out. And if you know by watching this show, y'all know how I feel about this person. And that's dumbass Daryl Morey. Daryl Morey, former GM of the Houston Rockets and now current president of basketball operations for the Philadelphia 76ers, spoke to The Athletic and said this. Daryl Morey saying the 2020 Lakers title has an asterisk on it and people around the league don't believe it was a genuine championship. Here was his quote. Had the Rockets won the title, I absolutely would have celebrated it. And celebrated it as legitimate, knowing the immense effort and resilience required. Yet everyone I speak around the league privately agrees that it doesn't truly hold up as a genuine championship. Perhaps the lasting legacy of the NBA bubble is that the NBA should be proud of its leadership at both the beginning and the end of the pandemic, even though there's an asterisk, even though the championship was very marked with an asterisk. Let me cut this fucking beat. Get the stupid quote off my TV, on my laptop. Daryl Morey, you're a dumbass. I hate Daryl. If you watch this podcast every Tuesday and Friday, y'all, my stance on Daryl Morey has not changed one bit. I've always said he's the most overrated GM in all of sports. Ask Mark, ask Nick, ask Trail, ask Tig, ask anybody who know me. Daryl Morey is the most overrated GM in sports. Oh, he said that if the Rockets would have won, of course he would have claimed it. Oh, by the way, who did the Lakers beat in 5 in the semifinals that year in the bubble? Oh, that would be the Houston Rockets. Daryl Morey, you was in Houston for 13 years. You had 12 chances to win a championship. You didn't do jack. And don't tell me about no damn analytics. Analytics ain't traded for James Harden. Sorry, Bron and AD, I got to take this off the screen because I need people to see me right now. There ain't no analytics in trading for James Harden. There ain't no analytics in signing Dwight Howard. There ain't no analytics in trading for Chris Paul. And I definitely want to know the analytics in trading for Russell Westbrook and then trading for John Wall. Where are the analytics in giving Joel Embiid $60 million after he basically hobbled up and down the court during the Olympics? Huh? But the Lakers championship is an asterisk. The Lakers championship is an asterisk. Daryl Morey is the most, but no one wants to talk about how you pretty much left your players unstuck at the beginning of that season with your dumb ass tweet about China. Nobody brought that up. You want to bring up the tweet where Daryl Morey was talking about China? While the Rockets were over there, the Lakers were over there, the Brooklyn Nets were over there playing games in the preseason, and you back here in the States tweeting up a storm, and James Harden and LeBron and Anthony Davis are over there playing for this league, and you want to go out there and prove once again you're the smartest dude in the room, or you're a complete dunce cap. I'm tired of Daryl Morey. Has he brought some good to basketball? Yes. But he is not above criticism like the way some of these people in the media put him. You've been an executive for almost 20 years. You ain't been to the finals once. You ain't put a roster that ain't been to the finals once in Houston or in Philly. You riding off the coattails because you was in the front office in Boston in 2008 when they won the championship. That's all you doing. I don't hear nothing from no damn Daryl Morey. Most overrated GM in sports. I said it. And I dang someone argue me about Daryl Morey. He's a horrible general manager. He wants to be the smartest guy in the room all the time, and he's the biggest arrogant ass. Tired of Daryl Morey, man. That wasn't even cool. Because if the Rockets would have won the title, you know what I'm saying? Daryl Morey finally reached to the top. He took out LeBron. He took out Jokic. He outshined Pat Riley. Out of here, man. That was a dumb quote. And then Daryl Morey, and shout out again to my family over at 17. So Daryl Morey texted Ramona Shelburne, and he wants to focus. He agrees that the Lakers title was legitimate, but he said you shouldn't be. He was telling the great Steve Mason from Mason in Ireland, who I, love Steve Mason. And again, always shows me love when I show up to these 17 remotes. He's like texting Ramona Shelburne, telling Mace that he should be more mad at these other executives who think the Lakers championship asterisk. I'm mad at them too. Because if it wasn't the Lakers and LeBron winning the championship, coming off Kobe's death, Gigi's death, a nationwide pandemic where ain't nobody that's seen their family in 4 months, Players didn't want to go there. Because y'all was going to leave because Bron said, let's go. Everybody was going to say, let's go. And that, if you listen to that Lakers documentary, Pat Beverly said it. If Bron is leaving, why are we staying? Kawhi was following behind LeBron. If it wasn't for Bron, Melo, Russell Westbrook, and Jason Kidd, the bubble would have been blew up. I don't want to hear nothing from no Daryl Morey. Clippers didn't want to be there. Your players didn't want to be there. We got Lemon Pepper Lou because of the bubble. But everybody wants to talk about the Lakers championship. I don't want to hear that crap. Most overrated GM in sports, Sam. I stand by it. I stand by it, Boomer. He's the most overrated GM ever. Tell me what he's done. Analytics ain't trading for Hall of Famers. Any team could do that. Who wouldn't want to trade for James Harden coming off 6th Man of the Year? Who wouldn't have wanted to trade for Chris Paul when he was still with the Clippers? Trade Russell Westbrook 2 years off winning an MVP. That ain't analytics. Signing Dwight Howard coming off his worst year, but still led the league in rebounding with a bad back and a torn labrum. Where's the analytics? Because you discovered Chandler Parsons? Stop it. I beg of you, stop it. No dang analytics from no dang Daryl Morey. You want to hear that crap? You dig? And ladies and gentlemen, that is my calling out names. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get you up to date what's going on in the world of Sports4U, Townhouse Media, Culture Clash Network. We're going to get up out of here because obviously it's just me. So now I got a long day ahead tomorrow. I do got to work, but I got a huge weekend. So our boy Trail, OTC Trail from Sports4U Wrestling, he went on a podcasting marathon last month from our Sports4U Wrestling pod the week before the Evolution PLE and before the WWE's takeover in Atlanta. He did the Best in the World podcast with our boy Dale from Beer and BS Media and Sports Talk with Friends Media. Then, obviously, we did 3 watch-alongs in 2 days. Then did our regular Tribal Wars on watch-along. So your boy's finna be doing the marathon. Let me tell you what I got going on for this next weekend. And y'all come join us, bro. Y'all come join us, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna have a fun time. We're gonna have a fun time. We're gonna have a fun time this weekend in the world of sports and in the world of wrestling. So starting tomorrow, we having our Sports4U Wrestling WWE SummerSlam watch along 2 nights. Starting tomorrow, 2:45 Pacific. Always, Kev. 2:45 Pacific, 5:45 Eastern. SummerSlam, of course, starts at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific. It's gonna be me, Trail, and our boys from Undisputed Podcast, Drell and Champ. They will be with us on Saturday. Sunday, night 2. And by the way, I'll be late to the show, but Trail will be there. Trail and the boys will be there, but I will be there when I be there. Sunday, I'll be there from the beginning of the show with OTC. We got our boys from we got our fam from the Holy Shit Podcast joining us. Monday, Tribal Warzone, myself, Trail, Nessa, hopefully, get wetter. And our girl, the Caribbean Mommy JoJo. But I think JoJo's going to be with us during the watch-alongs this weekend too. So y'all go follow her on TikTok and and YouTube and Instagram, and check out Hot Take Wrestling After Dark. It gets you thought we were wild? Go watch Hot Take After Dark. Shout out to my boy Phil. And then Tuesday, we officially kick off the Sports4U two-a-days. We're going to have the AFC East, NFC East on one show. So our girl Nova from Society and Pop Culture and the Culture Clash family will be on the show making her Sports4U debut, along with my family from the Sucio Boys podcast, Grammy Award-winning songwriter, my man Marty McFlyer than you will be here. If you don't know his work, Google him. I guarantee he done help pin some of your favorite artists' songs. He's helped pin that new Chris Brown, Bryson Tiller joint that's out right now. Go check that out. Wednesday, the SummerSlam recap on Sports4U Wrestling. And then I'm off Thursday, but I'm back next Friday. Nessa will be in the house. She's going to have a special guest with her in the house. And our boy Big Nick from Wrestling Network for Life, he's going to come on and talk some bills with us. But yeah, we are going to talk. But yeah, it is football season here. So y'all make sure y'all stay tapped in. Make sure you subscribe to Sports4U podcast on YouTube. Subscribe to Culture Clash Network on YouTube. Subscribe to Townhouse Media on YouTube. Shout out to Uncle Dolly. Don't forget, go subscribe to Too Much Game on YouTube. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on X, Instagram, and TikTok at Sports4U Podcast. Follow Culture Clash Network on Instagram and X at Culture Clash Network. Follow me at John Watson 0984 on X and Instagram. Follow Mark on Instagram at HighMark1 on X. Probably follow me on TikTok at John Watson 0984 as well. See on the screen right there. Follow Nick at 99Gorilla on X, Instagram, and TikTok. We are out of here. I am out of here, I should say, because it's just me tonight. Mark, Nick, I'll see y'all on Tuesday if y'all are still watching. I'll let your boy. Sports4U Wrestling watch along again tomorrow and Sunday, 2:45 Pacific. 2:45 Pacific. With me, Trail, Undisputed Go podcast, Holy Podcast. And catch me Monday, Tribal War Zone, me, Trail, JoJo, Nessa. And we'll be back next week to kick off the Sports4U two-a-days. It's tradition I know that football season is here. Enjoy the Hall of Fame. Enjoy SummerSlam. Enjoy the sports. Let's go Dodgers. Let's go SummerSlam. Have fun. If you're in Jersey for SummerSlam, enjoy yourself. Be safe. Go get some merch. Go do some meet and greets. Get pictures. Get content. But please treat the WWE superstars like people and not circus attractions. Please, I beg of you. Good luck to everybody performing tomorrow at SummerSlam. MetLife Stadium is going to be up. And this has been this is a unique episode of Sports4U. I'm John Watson, your host. A lit comment session with Mark, Nessa, the Chaos Collective, Team Thick Latina, Tig, Kev the Postman, Candace, Sam, Cody, Fat, everybody. We will see y'all. I will see y'all tomorrow on Sports4U Wrestling. And I'll see y'all Tuesday on Sports4U two-a-days. Good night, everybody.